maybe.
Maybe not.
Sometimes people come late.
Yeah.
Well, we'll run a quick.
I know this will be a open meeting. All right, let's call this meeting to order. We're a couple minutes late. Love to start at noon sometime. Diane Flowers, Chair of the BPAC Committee. Introductions.
Bob
Sorry.
Nash, Redmond representative on the BPAC committee.
Tanya Saltzman, Deschutes County Staff Liaison.
Chris Chang, ODOT.
Wendy Holzman, BPAC member.
Dave Roth, BPAC member.
Online. I know we have a
Pat.
couple.
This is Pat, BPAC member.
Hey, Kim Curley, BPAC member.
Eva Richardson, I'm the Transportation Options Coordinator with Commute Options.
One other member, who was it? Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony, I'm BPAC member.
There we go. We got a couple of folks from Crook County with us today, so that's great. And that's at the top of our agenda today. Yes, so last month we talked about what our meeting calendar looks like kind of ongoing, and we pushed a lot. Like it was a bit packed, but we had a couple folks we thought we'd throw in Crook County and On the Move and their City of Prineville and what they're doing with pedestrian and bike routes and options in their communities in the county. So I made sure they got to the top of the list. I figure we don't have any public here, so. So Donna, I think you're on there. If you'd like to join us.
Yes, I'm on. My video isn't working, so I apologize for that. I'm not sure why. Could be my home internet, but I am Donna Barnes with Crook County on the Move. So, and I did have a PowerPoint to share. I'm not sure if it'll work with my issues that I'm having. So I don't know if we want to try that.
Yeah, go ahead. Try it. It happens. Thanks.
Okay. And can we see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll see if I can get it to do the PowerPoint. Okay, so our group is Crook County on the Move. We just encourage vibrant, healthy lifestyles in Crook County by keeping the community engaged. And we have 3 focus areas: keep moving, be nourished, and stay refreshed. And obviously today we're going to talk about the keep moving part. We created walking groups that go from April to June. We call them Let's Walk Together. This emphasizes this creating community through walking. It's the social interaction and the physical activity. So these groups can walk from anywhere from 20 minutes, and those that can walk longer sometimes do 45. But it isn't how long you walk, it's that you're out walking and being outdoors. So we've designed routes that are safe and comfortable with sidewalks and good crossings, starting in different areas in the community, walking different days and different times throughout the week. We also earlier did a partnership with Crook County Parks and Recreation, Crook County Rotary with some funding from AARP, St. Charles, and many other organizations in the community to put these benches along our main pathways and in our parks. And these benches were designed with recommendations from physical therapists. They're about 300 feet apart along the pathway. They have a middle armrest so that people can sit down and get out of the benches comfortably. And what this allows is people that can't walk very far or maybe had surgery, they can walk the path and know that they can sit down when they get tired. And these are really used a lot. They create community. And you'll notice here on this bench, on the left-hand side, there's a concrete pad under the bench and it's extended, and that's to allow a walker or a wheelchair to be able to pull up beside the bench so that that person doesn't feel left out, and they can get off the main pathway. And that has been used quite a bit. So that's important. And as our walking groups advanced, we brought in partnerships. This fall, we did a walk with NAMI Central Oregon that focused on mental health out in nature. And so we took a walk along the trail and the creek and just talked. And And then we also have one during our walking groups called Healing Hearts, and that's in partnership with St. Charles Hospice and Transitions. And the last 2 years, that has been focused on helping people that are grieving for loved ones and how to navigate through that process. We have a short meeting at that event, and then we go for a very short walk because many of these people are older. But it's a great way to interact after the talk. We've also incorporated benefit walks. That we're in our 3rd year of Time of Hope. This walk is not about how fast or how far you go. It's just merely celebrating the fact that you are out walking and we're there for you. And it connects the community, fostering that support, encouraging conversations, and just letting those people with cancer know we're there for them. We've also created a walking challenge with our walking groups, and that challenge is called Minutes Can Matter. So for every minute our walkers walk from April to June, 5 cents gets put into the funds for this Time of Hope and goes back into the community to help our cancer patients. And that community benefit has really been well received by our walkers. It gives them purpose for others as well as for themselves. We've also, because we only walk a short time during the year, we created these rat cards to encourage neighborhood walking groups or other communities that want to create walking groups to learn from the process that we've kind of toyed with a little bit and figured out what worked and what didn't work. So the front side of the card you see here, it shows how you would create that walking group, recommended 2 co-hosts so that somebody was always there to greet the walkers. And then on the back of the card, there's walking tips for all ages as you're walking and how to be a considerate walker. We've also created virtual walks. Some of them are interactive, some are static. The walk around town is mapped out routes 1, 2, and 3 miles. These specifically go from our hospitals and medical clinics, the county library, going from housing developments here and then a concentrated housing area up here in our community. All those routes lead back to the downtown area. We also encompassed our fairgrounds for those people visiting the community, allowing them to see how far it would be to leave their trailers and their trucks behind and walk downtown to shop and to dine. So this is kind of also an economic tool as well as it is to get people out moving. But if you've ever went to a neighborhood and been in the car all day and you stay at a hotel and you just want to go for a walk, this map is meant to help you find where you can walk in our community. And then we also did a biking map starting from Goodbye-Co in our downtown core and taking scenic loops around our town. These are printed maps as well as available online. The interactive maps, where History and Heritage Walk was one of those. We took a book that the Bowman Museum had of different heritage sites in the community, and we mapped out a route that incorporated all of those buildings and those sites. And then when you click on the tab on the map, it will give you an explanation of when that building was built and a little bit of story around it. And recently through Discover Crook County, we've added audio to that because we found many people, especially older people, cannot see their screens on their phones very well. So you can press the button and it will talk to you and tell you what those sites are about. We also did it with art in our community, creating a little walking route where you could go and view all the public art in the community, and it tells you about the creators and a little bit about the story behind that art. So just ways to make walking an experience versus just going from point A to point B. And that's just a few of the things we've done to encourage walking, and that's in coordination with the city, and they'll talk to you. They've added some great walking paths, safe places for people to walk without worrying about traffic. And so it's just been, we've seen an uptick in our walking in our community, I think, and I hope we had a hand in that. So thank you.
I asked Donna.
Yeah.
Donna, I have a question for you. It
Yes.
seems to me that perhaps a few years back at another BPAC thing, it may have been Out Your Way, you were first talking about this program. And I'm wondering if you have any statistics for what kind of growth you've seen, because it's fantastic. We love that you're doing this. curious to know, are you getting more and more folks to do it?
It's a little bit hard. Our walking groups themselves have about the same number of people. They don't all log their minutes, so that's a little difficult to gauge. But we have seen people start that could only walk to like that first bench that I showed you. And
Yeah.
pretty soon they were walking to the next intersection and the next one, and they were so tickled with themselves. We've got the moms with strollers that you saw in the picture. That was mostly a group of people in the community that were new to the community and didn't have family support systems. And that group still meets and celebrates their kids' birthdays. And they've just created this wonderful support group for them. And now we do also a mobility class that helps people get to the point where they can walk. So maybe they can't and they come to our mobility class. And then pretty soon we'll see them out on the trail walking. So numbers haven't increased tremendously, but the results from the walking groups have really increased. And we see more people walking in the community, whether they attend our groups or not. I think we've had a hand in that. And that's definitely a visual thing.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate you being here and showing us this today, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. I had one question is, do you see much in outside of the city in the rural areas? Have you done anything with walking groups in that area?
Not a lot. Most of ours are in town. We do the Barnes Butte area, so that's a little bit of outside of the town.
Yeah.
We have done one at the wetlands, and that's another walking route that the city put in. We were hoping that the Ochoco Preserve, that Deschutes Lands Trust, would create a trail that comes from their preserve, actually goes from the wetlands through their preserve down the highway and into town. There's a lot more residences out there anymore and traffic's increased. And I think having a separate walking path would really help people to walk instead of drive as they go into town. It also, for the long distance walkers, they could almost get to Barnes Butte between trails and sidewalks doing that. So it has a lot of benefits. But with each thing the city does and concentrates on walking and safe walking routes, I think it helps people get out and feel good about walking.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody online have questions for Donna?
I have a question, Donna. It's Kim Curley. Roughly budget that it costs to kind of make these collateral materials and kind of do the research and stuff. I'm assuming you're a nonprofit, like with no paid staff.
We are. So it's all volunteer. So that definitely helps. We sometimes add prizes in to encourage the walkers. We get a sponsorship for Our Minutes Can Matter. So they give us $2,000 and that's the limit that we, encourage people to get to. But most of it can be done basically with whatever cost you want. I would say, $500 would be a reach to even for it to cost that much. And that would be, the marketing, and most of it's Facebook and flyers and through our partnerships that we get the word out.
Awesome. Thanks.
Great. It's Josh on.
I am.
There you go. All right. You're
So
up.
I missed a lot of Donna's things, so I don't know how much she covered. It looks like it was pretty lengthy. We had a little bit of a flood in the office this morning, so there's a lot of fans running, so you can't hear me at my desk. I had to move. Well, kind of tack on to what I saw in the presentation there. The city kind of has these, I guess, three distinct walking areas, kind of the Barnes Butte area, the wetlands, and then the lower 66 is a little more of a biking area, but the lower 66 up onto the Lookout. And we actually have trails up by Meta Data Center that people don't know about as much. They're more biking trails, but there is a lot of trails that run along the Rimrock up on the grade that I think people are a little unaware of. So there's a lot of recreational activities, but they're kind of in these three areas that aren't connected. And that goes back to the reserve the Shutes Land Trust Reserve and trying to get that ODOT trail. We have and Phil knows all about this one, get that ODOT trails extended out. Sorry, Chris, not Phil. Chris knows all about this. Because we'd like to get that trail extended out to the reserve, and then we have a plan to connect the reserve to our wetland, which would give us access then from town without having to drive to the wetlands. That's kind of a long-term goal of ours, as well as connecting neighborhoods into the Barnes Butte Rec area, which is our primary hub. We don't really gather data on how many people are using it. It's more of a glance at the parking lot and see what's out there, and it just keeps growing. We did the Combs Flat Road project, that from basically putting a large major arterial through that area, and that added another trail, another couple of paved loops. So we have kind of these concentric rings that people can use that shorten their distance. I think Donna's was working on probably getting some benches out there that we could work on, and Coda has been doing a ton of work out there on the bike trails, which also double as walking trails as well. So just chip away at it. We did get we defaulted into one of the path grants from ODOT, which is on our Lynn Boulevard off-street path to connect the high school to some of our basically Lynn Boulevard to Highway 380, and then up and eventually connect into our trail that we put along the hospital, which would then connect up into Barnes Butte. So we're slowly tying those things together. They're just expensive. It's just insane what things cost anymore. So some of those permanent installations, especially along the highway, are just outrageous. So you think it's an easy test, throw some pavement down, and then you look at $3.7 million, you're like, what? Why? Yeah.
Think how the highway builders feel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just any road project, anything in that world, you're thinking it's just a little trail, and you're like, well, what about the drainage? What about the right of way? What about the utilities? What about the power poles in the way and the neighborhood fences and oh my God, then you just start. Yeah.
Got a question for you.
Sure.
This is Mark out here. I work out at Sun River. And I'm curious, do you do community surveys on bike ped needs or wants in your community?
We have, not the city, but Parks and Rec has.
So like this
So we did Parks and Rec did a master plan. We called it a unified master plan because it was Parks and Rec, which is a separate taxing district, the city and the county.
Okay.
And in that we did surveys. This was probably 5 years ago, almost. And out of that, the number one thing that popped up in those surveys was walking. They wanted places to walk, not on the road, not on a sidewalk, but just recreational walking, walk out your door and go. And I've been preaching that for a long time, but we live in Prineville. It's a little more of I have a car, I'm going to drive my car everywhere mentality. But as soon as you provide it, that narrative starts to switch, and people realize that, well, this is kind of nice. I can just walk out my front door, go down the street, and I'm in a rec area. I'm in this huge park. The Rails to Trails project. Back in the day in the 80s, they built that trail through town, with the bike path. Everybody just refers to it as the bike path. And that was the only thing ever built for decades, but it's heavily used. And so when our rail line went out, there was a choice to either sell that property to the neighboring properties or put in another trail that would extend it all the way down to the Ochico Mill site. And we put that trail in, and it was just immediate. Now it connects from east all the way to west side of town, and we start creating these opportunities for people, and you see that step up. So when we did that master plan, people are noticing that, and they want more. And they just keep wanting, hey, well, what about our neighborhood? What about this neighborhood? Can we get these connected? So that's probably the most recent survey we have done. It would be interesting to to do a broader one of the community again and see how much that has changed since 5 years ago. COVID did actually help.
Sure.
Anytime you have a big event like that, there are some good things that come out of it, and one of them was recreation. Hey, we can do this. We can do other things. We can create this right here in our own communities.
This is Wendy. How much in that 5-year time period do you say your population has grown? Have you seen significant growth?
Yeah, I think county-wise, I think we're the second fastest growing county in the state.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah.
Pineville, I think 2020 to now is probably 2,000 people. I think we're pushing 12 right now. I think PSU has us at like 11.5. I think we were down in the just over 10 back during the census. But we get a lot of, we're starting to get people driving over here to recreate, right?
Yeah.
They'll come over and they'll use the Barnesby area for recreation. They'll come over to the wetlands. A lot of bird watchers, things like that are starting to happen. CODA does, biking groups, and we have a huge mountain biking tournament that happens every year over here now. That thing just keeps getting larger and larger. So we're getting a lot lot tourism dollars as well.
Get that infrastructure in place, and then people will come and use it, right?
Yeah, it's that biking thing was massive. I think we had almost 400 people on site up there for that, and they camp out because we have enough room that they can still do that.
How many did you say?
I think there was about 400 this time.
Wow.
And then the businesses start to realize that you're going to get some tourism dollars from doing it, so they get more behind it
and they do
too,
report that back. So they actually do a report and they send it back to us. I think it was something like 120,000 that weekend came into the community, and just outside dollars. Yeah.
Great. That's fantastic. Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Sure.
I'm glad you guys could join.
Sorry about your flooding. Sounds like you might have something to go back and deal with now.
We had a faucet just broke last night and came in, and it was just,
Yeah. Well, good luck with it.
Yeah. Again, thank you. Appreciate it
so much.
All right. That was good. All right, we've got our updates. New options. Instead of last, you can be first.
Thank you. And we're ahead of schedule too. Okay, let's see.
We're not done yet. Fix that.
No, that's great. Let's see. We had the Winter Walk to School Day, which took place this past Wednesday this week. We facilitated an event at Bear Creek Elementary and had an attendance of about 60 people, which was an awesome turnout. The weather probably helped. It was a very mild winter walk to school day.
What winter weather?
No, not at all. But definitely lots of people out and about, which was great to see. And a number of other schools coordinated their own events: Buckingham, Ponderosa, Highland, Amity Creek, and Lava Ridge. Those are the ones we know of anyways. So great turnout for that event. And then I think I mentioned the last time I was here, we got some funding through the City of Bend's Climate Action Partner Grant to work on School Pool, which is a carpooling program that's run through the Get There Connect platform. So we're still in the early stages of coordinating with some local elementary schools to try and find the best fit to pilot that program. But that is ongoing. And speaking of Get There, as of February 1st, the Get There Connect platform got some major updates and a brand new app, which we've been asking for a long time. So that's really exciting. And it's designed to be much easier to navigate. It's got updated trip planning features that are now integrated with Google Maps. And another commute perks feature, which is in addition to our Get There rewards program, which businesses pay into. This is available for all Get There users, and you can get discounts and perks from local businesses and national brands available online. So hopefully that'll get more people engaged with the program. So if you are a Get There Connect user, or even if you're not, I would encourage you to download the app. It's called Get There Connect, and you can do everything you would do on the desktop version, you can do in an app now. So I think that's going to be great. And then we're working on an expansion of our e-bike online safety course to Portland, Happy Valley, and potentially Washington State through a partnership with WashDOT. And then we have a new hire starting this month, Julia Page. She's going to be a community engagement specialist working on bike and pedestrian safety education in schools, and event and volunteer coordination. So we're excited about that. I think that's it. Lastly, we just have a reminder, we have van pools available at a 50% subsidy. So if anyone's interested in learning more about that, you can contact my colleague Lucy. Her email is lucy@commuteoptions.org. And yeah, I think that's it from me.
Great. Thank you. So I know Derek said he wasn't going to be here today. So we can jump to Lapine. Anthony, anything to update us on?
Nothing that I haven't mentioned before. We're finally, like, I feel like I say this every meeting, but we're finally starting to move on the TSB, which is nice. Everything else is like, there's a huge thing that we still need to approve, that City Council still needs to approve. And then once that's approved, which should be next week, then it's like all hands on deck for the TSP. And yeah, everything's just sort of like up in the air. It's all ideas right now, but I know there's the Parks and Rec is doing a really, really, really good job of not only reinventing themselves from the mess that they were that's like a year and a half ago at this point. I'm sure some of you heard about all that. So we're fixing that, and they're talking about putting walking paths along the river, and because we have the little Deschutes that goes through town. Talking about putting it along that. They're talking about putting a crossover walkway suspended over the wetlands so that we're not actually impeding in the wetlands themselves, but it'd be a pretty cool scenic route through that. I grew up in Coos Bay, Oregon, and we had sort of the plans I've seen and the ideas I've seen. Reminds me of when you're walking over a slough. You're just sort of in the middle of it all. You're not actually touching the grass or walking on anything, but everything's elevated. It'll be really cool if we can pull that off. Yeah, and then I don't know if I mentioned last time, bike racks are required with every new business and every new business renewal. So I'm drawing a blank on the amount. They changed it. It was a lot when they first did it, and one of the businesses had to renew, and they saw how many bike spaces they had to put in. They said, okay, well, maybe we need to back this up a little bit because it was a lot. I want to say it's like, I don't know, like one bike spot per 10 parking spots or something. It ends up being, like a couple families can fit in a business with their bikes, which is nice. But making it so that every business renewal requires it is huge, because what we face here in the Pine is a lot of stuff was built with absolutely no rule at all. And it's been hard to get people to go back and do things that seem like common sense today, because it costs money and they don't really want to, and that's understandable. But now, if you want your business to keep running, if you want to get your license, you're going to have to do it. So that's a really big deal, trying to get everything that's been grandfathered in to be updated.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be cool because you have bike spaces, you'll have new sidewalks that go there that before they weren't sidewalks that were required, now they're required, so people able to walk. We're working on getting benches on that path that's coming through. I know that there's the Lava Butte to Bend, I believe, is the path that's being chiseled in, or so hopefully once that's like set and moved, I know we've been talking a lot about trying to get kind of the start of this Burgess Road path connected to Lava Butte as well. That'd be cool to have all that done. So again, it's all just like ideas and hope. But now that we're on the TSP, like we can really start to push for stuff.
So back to the TSP, did you reply to, who was that?
I
Tanya?
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Anthony's going to,
You responded to the person who sent
Yeah.
out the.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be cool. I can't probably meet in person. But I don't know. I might actually go to like she's getting older and she's going to preschool soon. So maybe I'll have some free time. I'm seeing a little bit of freedom. It's right there. I can
It's a
almost
light
touch
at
it.
the end of the
Yeah,
tunnel.
maybe when she's
Yeah.
like 25 years old, count on that.
That's a good point. Yeah. And then there's the whole like, obviously want her to be with me all the time, but I also want her to be away from me all the time. So there's that weird thing being a parent. It's strange, but
Yes, it is.
I'm getting there. So yeah, like I said, just hope and theory at this point. But this year I think will be a year we really start to make some noticeable changes.
Anthony, I got a question. This is Dave Roth. The trail from Lava Butte to Lapine is probably what, 10 years out or something like that? Because it's
Way more than that.
well, okay. Well, I was trying to be optimistic here. Years ago, I used to camp at Lapine State Park. Is there any thought process from this would be the county side, maybe some state park reg side, but Lapine side to go get a paved path from Lapine State Park along the east side of the river and then work your way over to that extended path?
Yeah, I feel like it was last year or the year before, there was a big survey sent out asking what people would like to see. Would they like to see new paths built that basically parallel the highway? Would they like to see essentially just an extension, just a widening of the highway for that path? Or would they like to go use paths that already exist? And part of that is connecting Lapine State Park. I know that it may never happen. There's a massive elk migration zone that crosses just south of Lapine State Park. I believe it's just south of it. And that alone could make it so it doesn't ever happen, which is fine. I would rather, if it's going to impede on elk migration, like it's fine. We don't need to be building paths through there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
might like to use them.
I will say that, we did, those destinations are Lapine State Park and Newberry Caldera. Those are destinations that were included sort of in that planning from Lava Butte to Lapine.
Okay.
So we do have some alignments. Again, there's no identified funding for any of this construction. So how do we chip those apart? And then how do we do those balance weighing of elk corridor, where it goes, highways, people usage, all of that. So yeah, that's definitely one of those priorities. As we look at future funding streams of really, I think that is a good logical connection point from Lapine up to Lapine State Park as one of those chunks of how we start getting this going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Anthony.
For sure.
Mark, you're here.
I am. Let's see. For us, we're doing so much stuff that's not snow. That's really odd. Normally we're just slammed with that. The board has adopted, we had a pathway safety task force that went in. It was a long process, went in place, and then they were kind of broke up into some subgroups, more of infrastructure, a rules, kind of subgroup and a communication. And also after that, they've come up with the pathway ambassador group. So that was all stuff that came out of the plan that I'd say a third of it is probably going to move forward in the next year, which is pretty good when you have a new plan that starts to get developed. And that's kind of been the main things that we've been doing in Sun River in this last little bit here. So
Obviously, you're not required to get funding from outside of Sun River to be able to do some of these things.
a lot of them aren't super hard to do, but We deal with the same issues that every other city does. We call ourselves a fake city because it's very much that same. We got a board. You guys got county commissioner. You've got all the departments. It runs just like a fake city. And so, but funding is a real concern because we're funded completely from homeowner dues. Believe it or not, Sun River probably has some of the cheapest homeowner dues in Central Oregon. I think it's like about $170 a month. And more if you look at a lot of
Wow, that's
Black Buttes is going to be, 400. Some other ones are 600. So when you look at it, but the thing we have that's economy of scale because we have 4,200 homes, so that helps a lot. But one tunnel, the next one we're doing is going to be super challenging. It's on River Road going out to the airport. We have soils that are not suitable for building on, you might say. So they're all liquefiable soils, kind of the same stuff where that road on Lapine is out there that's all by itself. We're dealing with the same kind of stuff. So we're looking at, and that's probably going to increase the project for that tunnel probably by about $200,000, which is, it's a pretty big chunk when you look at it. But our goal is to have that completed by this fall, but we're still doing sort of second round of geotechnical evaluations for soils and all that kind of good stuff. And now we're moving into the engineering phase, but that's going to be a big one when we do it. And it's got the airport that's out there, and then the airport's identified as one of the main hubs for the Cascadia effect for a particular.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
all these things you got to think. It's just not a tunnel. You got to figure out what if it shakes a little bit. How do you fix it for the main artery to get to an airport?
Yeah.
So our big city runs like that.
Yeah.
And that- But
Well, don't get too deep because the chutes may come up into it too.
we had to do all of it. Do all that evaluation.
Because you're really close out there by the airport. The difference.
Yeah, every place else we put in pretty big dry wells out there. We actually have to build more swales so it's a whole different process. And to tell you the truth, I find it fascinating. I really enjoy it. But also you have an airport out there, you have a lot of homes out there, and then you only have one road that goes out there, and we're going to tear the road out while we're putting this tunnel in. So you got to figure out all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm hoping that by next year at this time, I'm saying, hey, we got that one done. So
Yeah, good.
good.
I just know people in general have rated the trails as one of the most important things, so they're more willing for some of their money to go towards that, perhaps.
Yeah. And one thing that Sun River did that was super smart a while back is they developed almost like a capital plan. And so it's a reserve plan, like what HOAs call it. And they have funded the reserve plan for every amenity and infrastructure item we have from now until eternity. So if we have a road section that's going to get done, I know what's going to get done 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and I know it's all paid for.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. The difference.
Looks like that's a very efficient city in that case, because I know that's what all cities are.
We actually passed that during the downturn of the economy, but we were able to and it was a ton of education. We went all over. We went to San Francisco. We had homeowners there that want to talk about it. We went everywhere. And once that passed, we didn't know if it was going to, and it had to pass by 60%, and it passed by almost 80%. And since then, that has solved, but it doesn't do anything for new stuff. Everything new is a different type of funding process. But so I do feel super lucky to not be in ODOT's shoes at this particular time to be dealing with that. I was with state parks for 18 years before I took this job. And so I had to deal with those funding stuff all the time.
Yeah. Mark, I had a quick question for you on the Pathway Ambassador program. How many folks are engaged in that group?
Our Pathway Master Plan. So we'll throw something out and we'll get, we have like 3 or 4 groups that are normally in a year that are kind of working on different projects. This Pathway one, we put the information out there, and luckily we're happy to get like 10 to 15 because we have a lot of people that don't live there full time. On that one, I think we had, was it 50 or 70 people that wanted to be on the task force? And then we, interviewed them all and got it down to a reasonable amount of number. And I think we ended up with maybe still like 20. It was still a pretty large group to work through. But
I imagine interest would be pretty high out there on that topic. So
no, there was a lot of opinions.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sun River's got a unique way of generating money in that anything that's done is per house, per front door. There's no property taxes that goes to Sun River. And I know when they built Shark, because my wife owns a rental house down there. It was, I don't know, 5,000, just shy of $5,000
You're right.
per door. And it didn't matter if it was a $200,000 cluster cabin over here or a $5 million house over here. It was all just that amount per door.
And all of it had to, and that one went to a vote too, and that one.
Well, it went big, but it was still,
Yeah,
unique in that there's no property tax per se.
correct. Well, there's property taxes. We don't get it.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, it goes to. the
County gets plenty of it.
County gets,
Yep.
county's sucking Sun River dry.
No, we're doing fine.
Tanya didn't even blink on that one.
Don't put that in the minute, Tanya.
Say, Mark didn't say that.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Probably happy not being pushing snow all winter,
It's part of the job. It's actually kind of a fun sport too, so.
except for the
Yeah.
lack of skiing, right?
Yeah, Purdue's not gonna open.
So Jen's not here. Bob, what do you got for Redmond?
Not much. We met a couple weeks ago for the first time since October, thanks to our changeover in city liaisons.
So you have one now.
We have one, yep,
Okay.
and we're back in business, but I don't really have much to report. We've started working on our 2026 work plan. We did discuss that Deschutes BPAC would be coming in June.
Okay,
That's
we'll put that on the calendar.
that's good. But really, other than that, I don't have much to report.
Oh, okay, so we're not doing the usual, we did you in March. We're not doing that now, we're doing.
Wendy and I communicated about that a while back.
Yeah, we
Because-
weren't sure. He wasn't sure because there was a liaison, so I didn't know.
Oh, I got it, okay. So I'm thinking, don't we go to Redmond in March? I'm looking at this and I'm going, wait, we're supposed to be meeting here?
We weren't even meeting, so I said, there's no way it's happening.
Okay, got it,
No meeting in Redmond in March.
okay. Now I'm on the same page, I got it, we'll be here.
Yep, we will be here next month. Cool, that'll be good. County, Deschutes County?
Yes, I have communications from one Tarek Rawlings,
All right.
transportation planner. A lot of it is sort of the same. I will continue to push for promoting our upcoming Terrebonne community plan. I guess nobody lives in Terrebonne here. You're
No.
closest. No pressure, but we're gonna have kind of our first open house in early April to just get kind of the lay of the land, find out what people are thinking who live in the community about growth with respect to potential sewer coming to the area, and bike ped stuff will be a small part of it. I'm very curious how it's going to go.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah, we are. They've been burned sometimes in the past, so it's going to be an interesting project. But there will be hopefully some bike ped components, and we'll have some WDOT and road department interaction. Let's see. This is mostly ODOT stuff that he gave us. So let's see, all of the projects continue to be available on the road department page. Tumalo Reservoir Road Project, OB Riley to Sizemore Improvement Project. Preliminary engineering is complete with ongoing construction anticipated until June of this year. They're improving Buckhorn Road to Lower Bridge Way to bring them up to county road standards. They're doing preliminary engineering now. Construction is scheduled for next year. Let's see what else. South Century Bridge Rehab, which is north of the Sun River Business Park. This includes repairs and reinforcements, rail replacements, and upgrades to guardrails. Preliminary engineering also in 2026. Lots of engineering in 2026 with construction scheduled for 2027. And let's see that. That's pretty much it.
Is there any updates on the roundabouts that are gonna be?
The corridor intersection improvements project, the single lane roundabouts at the intersections of South Century and Huntington, Spring River Road, Venture Lane. Let's see, undergoing continued construction of the roundabouts at Venture Lane and Spring River Road, anticipated to undergo right-of-way work and construction throughout 2027. Okay. The public comment stuff has been closed. So that's all I have from the county. Thanks.
Cool, thank you. Chris?
Yeah, so the slow moving train wreck that's ODOT's budget continues. I don't have any more answers than you guys do. But we're looking at it for several more years still. So I only say this because that sort of clouds a lot of what's happening in the future in terms of our funding, what's on the cutting board, what's not, staffing, all of that. Um, so yeah, I'll start with my other bad news. Bend to Lava Butte. Most likely, the section from Bend to High Desert Museum is going to be bumped until 28 instead of 27. We're going to delay that to a separate project where we're also doing paving. This has to do with some funding stuff. Bends have cash flow problems as well right now in terms of the flat program and all of that. And, pairing it with some light work. Also, we're having some consternation around that north end of just dumping people onto Knott Road because there's no parking lot currently. So it's just going to be one of those. Are people going to park on the shoulder? How's the county going to? I think it's the county there. Might be the city. Can't remember. But how are we going to deal with that? What?
Yep, that will be a challenge.
Yeah. So we're hoping to buy some time on that end as well, see what we can do, partner with Ben Parks and Rec. They've got some plans. We've looked at a bunch of things. So sadly, that section won't be built. The section from High Desert Museum, including the undercrossing to Lava Butte, though, will be being constructed. So that's still on the same schedule. So starting late.
But you just can't get from Ben to that at this point.
You
Yeah.
always can.
Yeah.
Just
So,
No one built.
so you're gonna do the Lava Butte to the museum first.
correct.
Hopefully by then, forgive me, I don't remember who the irrigation district is that has a canal on the north side of Knott Road. They're
It's
going to
Arnold,
pipe that. I know as soon as they can. And I know Ben Park and Rec wants to put a path over the top of that. And they've worked with the irrigation district to do that.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's gonna be county or ODOT, but punch a tunnel underneath the ramp on that side. Put parking on the north side of Knott.
Yes, and that's identified in our Baker Knott interchange plan. We drew
Yeah.
that design in there. Ben Parks and Rec is aware as well, and they would like to do something along that northeast corner trailhead, sort of as they do the
Yeah.
canal, connecting further northwest as well. So ideally, we can have some conversation around that or a plan, but otherwise, right now, we don't have funding to do even a trailhead on that south side of the road where it terminates, hence that sort of consternation of people parking, people crossing,
Yeah.
high-speed roadway. So
So then construction for the part that's moving forward, that is 26 or 27.
when it starts in 26, but that'll be mostly the tree clearing and whatnot on the national forest side. And then 27 is
So
really,
then next year would be anticipating completion of that.
yes,
And then
yes, looking for more money, how we tie that together.
that's going to be, you're gonna get some pressure on that one. They're spending a lot of money on a part that's not super accessible.
Which one, sorry, which?
Not including the tie-in from Ben.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it'll make certain, I'm gonna say, interested parties along the corridor happy that there's no path going in for a little bit. But
Yeah, okay.
It's one guy.
Yeah, one guy. So remind
Said it,
me,
no.
is any funding from the flap grant available for this? Because you are getting out to federal lands, forest
yes, this
lands?
is almost all flap grant funded.
Okay,
And
so you've already explored that to its limit.
Yes, we've already gotten more money. We should be good for now. Again, the bigger consternation is that trailhead sort of, how do we get people there? Again, this isn't completely formalized, what we're anticipating is, but we do need the Fed approval as well to bump it because obligation years of flat dollars. So, but that's what's anticipated.
I'm gonna be working out in Sun River for about 4 more years and my driveway is really close to that. So you can park there if that will work.
Yeah, nope. I like it. All right, so hopefully that's just the bad news. We have some cool projects coming up now too, so we'll be getting some new crossings on US 20. So this is unfortunate in the fact that all this funding comes from our vulnerable user crash response system, basically people getting seriously injured or killed. But in Bend here, we'll have new crossings at Lafayette and Norton, probably 27 or 28. So these will be RRFB crossings. That'll be nice. And then unfortunately, there was another fatality a while back, I want to say May or something, near Thurston, somewhere around there, up by that Safeway. So we're kicking off another project where we'll likely get more crossings somewhere between Underwood and Thurston. So we should have a lot of crossings on that sort of Third Street south of the overpass all the way down to Greenwood. So those projects are happening. Fingers crossed our money doesn't get taken away. These are state dollars. So those are all on the cutting block. Greenwood, 1st to 6th Street. This was a city project on the west side of the highway. And they can't really do stuff because we didn't do anything on the east side, but we found some money. So we got $2.75 million. I don't even know if the city knows yet. I don't think I've told them. But we have some money for that work. So ideally that road diet on the west side of the highway where it sort of stops at First Street will continue now and transition into ODOT facilities. So that'll be an exciting project. We'll be able to do the signal work, likely put in, it'll probably look like a multi-use path on the north side of Greenwood, east of Third. Because in order to get down to that one lane, we're going to turn one of them into a right turn lane, and then we don't want to merge people on bikes into the middle. So I'll bring some more details, have some conversations about that in the future, because that one's a bit wonky. But
When do you expect that one to start?
Well, so we got approval for the funding. That just starts the ball on all the paperwork of OTC approvals, moving money from here to there. So we anticipate doing that in June. So we're starting all the stuff.
Sooner than I would have.
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be kicking off as soon as possible after that. But again, it'll just depend on that paperwork. And then, Safe Routes to School Redmond, so we have crossings on OR 126 and 4 crossings up there at 7th and 12th. So that's kicked off now. Hopefully we'll go to construction year and a half. We'll see, trying to do it really quickly. That was Safe Routes funded. And then that also includes a multi-use path south from town. So from U interchange down to Desert Terrace Mobile Estate. So about 4,000 feet of the highway. So that'll be cool. And then we've also kicked off our Ben Sisters Redmond project. We had our first PAC meeting last week.
Yes.
That's cruising along. In my email inbox is a draft of some alternatives that they've started putting together. So super psyched about that project, having some conversations.
Community Path program or?
This was, just ODOT funded.
Oh,
So it's one of our planning projects of how we connect those 3 cities.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, super exciting. I'm excited by it at least. So
Yeah.
we'll chunk those into similar to Lava Butte to Lapine into segments that we can plan / build, have fundable projects in there. So
Good.
Yeah. Well, if you're excited, we're happy. Got to be excited about something with all the other.
See, that's great. Bad news up front and end with good news. All good. Patrick, you on?
Yeah, not a whole lot from OAS. We're in the middle of ski season, which is going
Right.
Yeah, actually going kind of well for us because it's been really easy getting to and from the mountain. Bachelor's done a good job at keeping the skiing all right. So we are, in terms of cycling, I've mentioned this a couple times, but we are working with Parks and Rec to build out an adaptive cycling center at Pine Nursery Park this coming summer. And if you haven't been over to that park recently, they are in the midst of a bunch of construction. And part of that, very small part of that, will be this center for us. So sometime midsummer, we'll have a refurbished kind of storage building that will be this adaptive cycling center with our trailers and everything in the vicinity. So sometime late summer, hopefully it would be great to have a little field trip for the
Yeah.
BPAC crew to come over and check out all the adaptive bikes. So that's kind of the biggest thing in our cycling world. But other than that, we are just trying to make the most out of a very, very small amount of snow. So winter has been a challenge for us. So
Hey, Pat, this is
Yeah.
Bob. Previously, you'd mentioned the possibility about doing an activity like in the Dry Canyon in Redmond. I'm wondering if that's still on the horizon and if perhaps you looked at a date or.
the idea, yes. Date, no. Yeah, we are gonna my team has a meeting. I'm looking at my calendar here, February 25th. So end of this month, we are hoping to kind of line out as many details as we can for the rest of our summer programming. And we are hoping to do some traveling clinics, Redmond, Sun River. We may even do a trip out to Burns. We had a group from Burns come to us last year, so we want to return the favor. Um, and maybe a Sister's Day as well. We're thinking that would be probably on a Friday, each of those trips, like one per month. So when I get some rough dates on what we think will work, I'd love to chat more with you about that. Because we've done these a few times. We've done them at Sun River out of the resort before, which has gone really well. But we just basically show up with our trailer, 15 or so bikes, a bunch of our volunteers. So our side of it is the programming side is actually relatively easy. It's the marketing side that is the bigger challenge, getting the word out and getting people to show up. So once we have some ideas, we can pin down a date, hopefully, and work together on getting the word out on that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, great.
All right. So we have a quorum. We should probably approve the last 2 months of minutes.
Move that we approve them.
Second.
And a vote. Got a motion. Go for a vote. All in favor?
All right.
I
think it was unanimous. We're in favor. Let's
got some online.
get those moving along. All right. So some of the things on our topics. So the Hero Award, we had Kim put together a form. I sent out a link. Did everybody get it? Because we only have one person so far nominated for the Hero Award.
And I did it mostly as a test to make sure the link worked. So, I mean, it's a for real nomination.
Wait, was it not real?
For Ariel. No, it really is.
Okay.
I did for the nomination, but didn't follow that process. I think I sent it to you directly.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay. Did
Did
you get the link? Did you get the link?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
I think I did.
It would have come around the same time as you got the agenda for this meeting.
Yeah. I just have to get the contact number because you want someone you have to contact about it. So I need to dial that down for my nomination.
Okay. So maybe this month we could make sure we get some nominations in there.
We'll do it.
Do we know, Anthony, have you updated the too many feet on the?
Yeah, I haven't heard back yet. I'll ping again and we can start fresh. But yeah, yes. Short answer, yes.
Okay. All right. I will find yours and I'll resend the link again today, later today. We need to get, what did we decide we were going to do as far as when we would do that with the?
We were going to be voting on them last meeting.
Oh, one of them. Yeah.
And so maybe if we can say that we will vote on them next meeting.
Okay.
Do you guys want me to share my screen? I have what I have pulled
Oh, yeah.
up.
That'd be great.
This is just updates on what it is now. Like is it showing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got me all funky because I had to move my camera. Yeah. So again, this is just like what was given. If you guys aren't stoked on like this original idea, I'm happy to like put pen to paper and like actually sketch out some ideas. This one on the right was the original one, which yeah, there's a ton of feet. I think it's kind of funny, but I could see why it'd be kind of creepy. But I think we can all agree that no matter which of these three we go with, it's a little creepy, and that could be fun. I think that's pretty fun. I can see how you might not like it.
It would make a really good medallion for the winner to like be wearing a.
It's really fun. I like it a
golden
lot,
one.
but and I would go with the more feet just because I would lean really heavy into I don't know, the sound of the feet as they roll away. Yeah, it's weird.
I think I'm better with the fewer feet or even the two that are more on the left side, not the so many feet one. But I like the feet being there because that's the whole idea.
Yeah, it's fun. So that's where we're at. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Are we to a landing point? We could say that middle one is the one we want to move forward with.
That's the one I like.
Okay, middle one.
All right. Middle is good. Yep. We got a thumbs up, front line.
And is that the name of the award?
Self-propelled award.
That was what we were coming up with, but then it got changed to Hero Award. So I think it's up to whatever this group wants to have. Self-propelled was just talking more about the individual is moving something forward themselves. So that was kind of the idea of it, but I think Hero Award is just as good, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, it just got changed.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
there
then
you go.
maybe put the year before it, 2026.
Yeah, you want it like you want it in front.
I am not a graphic designer and I do not play one on TV, so don't listen to me.
Yeah, we could do something like that. We could like you could always do it where it goes like where you have it down on the sides here instead is a lot of times you'll see them
20 and the 26.
yeah, you'll see designers put it sorry, this is like really fast on the fly, but
Yeah. One
You'll
there
see-
and then.
yeah, you'll see people put one here and then there'd be one on this opposite side. I would do that like if we need the space. If we were using self-propelled award, I would put them in those two spots because that black space could use a divider. But if we're just gonna put 2026 Hero Award, I don't think that we need to fill that space. I'll just adjust the kerning so that it fits.
I think it looks better if it's in front of the Hero Award, where you at there.
Yeah, and then then we could just put some dashes or something in here. We could put like we can make bicycle. Yeah, we could make BPAC a little bigger just so it fills that space a little better. But we'll mess around with it and the formatting will look good.
Yeah, spread it from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Just,
Yeah.
no, the BPAC.
All the way. You want it all the way.
It just makes the.
You want it all the way.
That means, I just made it a little bit bigger to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm not a graphic designer. I think
Maybe let's not
have
decide.
graphic designer and decide what they think is best.
Design away.
Like that. All right, so we will vote on these in March. Put it back on the agenda again.
Can I just make one really quick announcement?
Yeah.
The reason I've been texting, I'm not doing personal, there's been a snafu with our Zoom and they had a public hearing scheduled using our Zoom at 1. They're delaying it to 1:30, but that means we absolutely have to log off. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm stopping the meeting because there
Okay.
are people waiting in a room at the board. It's not our fault, but I feel bad. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do
Sorry.
this. That's okay.
Yes, well, I think we're on the way anyway, but
Okay.
yeah, just FYI. Thanks. Sorry.
That's okay. All right, so next month, we have that on the agenda. And I will send out the form link again. So the BPAC meeting calendar, so a couple things about the meeting calendar. We had on Crook County today, and we had time today. Oh, that's because a lot of people aren't here for updates. So trying to make sure we have time for what we want to talk about, but also have some other input. We sent I know you all got the calendar that Kim, David, and myself, we kind of looked through that and kind of said, here's a year's worth of stuff. There's a lot in there. Our thought was, even with, we're not doing the summit in April, so it's not an annual, but it's we're hoping sometime in the fall for this one. So it's like every 18 months that maybe we'd run the calendar in that same fashion and put in those external things like Crook County, Jefferson County, more meat in their in those presentations and spread it over an 18-month calendar. That seemed like a reasonable.
It's fine.
Yeah. It seems more reasonable to get everything in. Okay. What about you guys online? Any comments, questions, thoughts?
My one question, and apologies if I missed it, but would the summit be every 18 months then, or would it be once a year?
I think it's probably better. So my understanding, and this would have been before my time, is that we had one in April. I was here for the April one, but the one before that was in the October, 18 months prior to that. Is that about right?
Yeah, we moved it.
So
I don't remember why we moved it, but we did move it.
yeah,
18 months is 18 months.
I do too, because I think if we were trying to plan another one, we would have never made it.
Yeah.
Especially since we don't have any budget or anything like
Yeah.
Alyssa to work with. I think
Yeah.
18 months is
Yeah.
fine.
So
Yes, yeah, I would just voice my concern because I think 18 months for me anyways quickly becomes every other year or every 2 years, which is maybe okay. But I wonder if we set it to 24 months rather than 18. I don't know if anyone else shares that concern. I just think the summit is one of the things that this committee, it's one of the driving beats of this committee, one of the main outputs. And so, yeah, I would advocate for that every year, but also open to other thoughts.
I think having it yearly is important.
So you'd want it on the same time frame every year, or we do the 18-month thing?
We have a hard enough time engaging with the community. That's a problem that we have. One of the main engagement factors we have, or the best capability we have, is actually having the summit. We continue to push that out over a longer period of time, it becomes less relevant within the community. That's my 2 cents worth.
I think we've struggled a little bit though to have that relevancy in the community and we get a lot of agency people and whatnot, but we don't really get a lot of community people.
Right.
So I don't know if that's a goal we should
Yeah.
focus on.
Wendy, you're right. I mean, what is our goal in the summit? Is it for us? Is it for the community? Is it for the partners? Like, why are we doing it?
I think it ties the partners to each other, plus them to us. But anytime we do a summit, it's always a struggle to get it planned, get the people. And I'm not saying 2 years is too long.
right.
It's hard to get, I'm not trying to be negative, but it's hard to get this group to do one every year. So maybe it might be better to do it every 18 months. It's just, we all have things going on outside in our lives. And it just always seems like a struggle to get it every year. So.
This is Pat here. To build off of Kim's point, that's kind of what I was wondering too. Like, what's the vision, the ultimate goal? And the sense I get generally of the committee as a whole, right, is this advisory committee. We get a ton of information that comes through the committee. I think something we're striving to maybe do a little better at is distilling that down and making sure the public knows what we want them to know. And I could see the summit being like a condensed version of that, what if it's a half day or something and it's like, these are the top 6 things you should know about that's going on in the county in terms of, bicycle pedestrian related things. So trying to connect those dots for everybody. Here's what ODOT's working on. Here's what Sisters. Here's what Ben. Here, because and then that could be an annual thing or 18 months, but it's just sort of distilling down all this information we try to process every month, so that if a community member shows up, they can walk away saying, "Okay, I have a pretty good understanding of like the top 6 or 8 things that I want to know about as far as a bicyclist or a pedestrian in these various communities."
Yeah, I've, we've been on this committee for a long time, so trying to kind of get it distilled, and maybe because we do have this time limit today for the computer time, but perhaps we
Every week we have a time.
Yeah, well, I mean, every month, but maybe we should make that be a bigger topic that we talk about next time and let everyone kind of think about it a little bit.
Yeah. we
And
do need to talk
refine
about the
our
summit.
thoughts on it.
So we do need to talk about the summit regardless of today,
Yeah.
in that we do need to have a subcommittee to kind of that's willing to put that together and do that work. And I think this year, we're going to have it in sometime in the fall. Green's not here today.
Right.
But he has a contact with COCC that wants to potentially sponsor it. And so it would fall more into a fall range. That doesn't mean we can't have one the next year. I think I agree with we can't wait 2 years. That's too long. But I think it becomes this 18 months is the latest, right? We work from, that gives us some wiggle room for those things, like we have somebody that wants to sponsor it, but they want to do it in the fall instead of in April. So that we can move it around. But I think
So make it a goal no more than 18.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That seems fine.
Yeah. That way we have that movement of, we might find that it's better to do it at this
Just
time.
thinking we pushed it a couple of times because we haven't been ready. If we have
Yeah.
around 18 months, we push it another 6
No. I think that's kind of the limit of how far we want to push it. So, all right, we'll put the summit on for next month as a whole topic. That's a good one. And I just threw on there as a topic what Chris talked about. We kicked off the Deschutes Triangle Active Transportation Planning, the Sisters, Redmond, Bend. I also added that if anybody is looking for it, I'll send a link, but on the shared drive that we have, I added it under projects, and inside that folder is Deschutes Triangle ATM or ATP, and it has all the documents from the initial meeting. So if you're interested in looking at them, they're there. I'd like to get to where we're using the shared drive and can send links, and we go look in there and find things. So trying to perpetuate that. So they're up there. They're there now. And then one more thing on the calendar, July. So last month we had minimal participation because I understand that we moved the meeting. We did it the second Thursday instead of the first Thursday. July, the holiday falls on the Saturday, so the 2nd is the first Thursday. I'm going to say we stick with that rather than moving it to the 9th, because that way I'm hoping we'll get the most participation. Everybody good with that?
Okay, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. And good, we have some time. I know, I think the first 3 COAT, I know we had that on for this month because we ran out of time last month.
We've missed it for 2 months now.
Yeah.
I'll make it as brief as I can. We have another quack next week. The big push on the November meeting was questioning Highway 126 in Redmond near the new rec center crosswalks. People are really concerned. Going to be a lot of kids going from the schools across 126 to the rec center. The other big one was ODOT put on a very nice presentation about wildlife movement. And I sent to Tanya the agenda, and the back of the agenda was a multi-page. I didn't want to try and print it off because it's 40 pages about the potential of putting overpasses and the way overpasses have been built in other locations. A big deal about the underpasses, like south of Bend. Big concern about us humans building houses and stuff that's bothering and killing deer. Was brought out in it about the predatory change that was done in the early 90s that's exacerbated the deer kill, especially in Central Oregon and Eastern Oregon. The number of cougars, the populations increased. I did a study when this whole thing came up. I used to hunt, and so I had a very good feel for it. And I did a study on my own. I had state wildlife confirm it. And this is going to be scary, but before the predatory change was done in 93, given the number of deer that cougars kill per month compared to 2022, which is the last estimated time frame for the number of cougars. It's gone from 11,000 deer per month to 24,000 deer per month that's been killed by cougars. And so cars create a lot of problems. Homes create a lot of problems. Humans spreading out cause a lot of problems. But you got to look at the flip side. Look at I don't know how deeply you looked at what was presented. The overpasses are really cool. I've seen 3 of them between Calgary, Canada, and Banff. They're going over freeways. Literally, they build a tunnel over the top of the freeway, but they're $50 million to $80 million a pop. So if ODOT's got struggles now, we're never going to get one built. But I'd love to see at least 1 or 2 built between Sisters and Tuttle Lake, because that's been a huge kill. The underpasses south of Bend work great for small animals and for deer, but the elk almost will not use them because they're not wide enough and they're not deep enough. Elk are a lot bigger animal.
Yeah.
So they work great, but we really, if we're going to do any more underpasses, they need to be wider and taller to help the elk, especially down by La Pine. There is a big herd down there. Oh, anyway, that was pretty much it.
Neil's not here, so that takes care of a couple. We talked about the Lava Butte. And I haven't it's been no COIC crash safety messaging yet lately, and Neil's not here, so we're gonna make our 1:30.
This was yesterday.
Any other comments? We're back here in
I used to see that.
Bend again next month, not Redmond, if anybody has that in their head. So we'll do Redmond this year in June.
And just one note about the people's terms. Some of you were not in the room. So a bunch of people, their terms expire at the end of June, just planting the seed now to think about if you want to request reappointment, which is usually no big deal. Now I cursed it. Or if you are not interested or unable to do that. So those people, and I can remind you next month as well, are David Roth, David Green, Wendy, Kim, Megan Winchell, Jennifer Letts, and that's it. And if you know that you can't continue or do not want to continue, let me know sooner rather than later, just because it takes a while to recruit. We always end up drifting a little bit, and it's not the end of the world, but
think we're on an 18-month cycle, right?
It's 3-year terms, but yeah, pretty much. I feel like I'm always, we have to go in front of the board. It's a whole thing. But yeah. So I
Well,
can
and
provide,
they're staggered, right? So it feels like,
yeah, there's two kind of buckets of people, and I don't know how they got sorted out that way. And
Well,
forever shall they be
Kim,
like that.
the reason Kim is so short, since she was filling,
People replaced other.
yeah, she was a
Yeah.
replacement.
Yeah.
Got it. I was gonna say Megan hasn't been here 3 years.
No, there were a lot of,
There was.
people replacing term. Yeah.
Great. Any other questions, comments?
I've got one, 'cause everybody hates me on this one, but
Is it about a roundabout?
it's about a roundabout.
Okay, you had a whole meeting on roundabouts. So
Yeah, I know, but the city is doing a information, at 4:30 this afternoon at Larkspur about a roundabout going in at 15th, and I don't remember the name of the street. It comes in an angle south of Reed Market.
Ferguson.
Ferguson,
Oh,
yep.
right.
Thank you,
John
Kim.
Kim?
Anyway, it's at 4:30 at Larkspur. I will be there, by the way.
I won't be able to be there.
You better be there with your I Love Roundabouts t-shirt on.
I love roundabouts. I just hate the way they're designed in this US.
I love European roundabouts.
Make a timeline here. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Good to see you.
Yeah. See you next month.
Thank you. See you next month.
Yeah.